Today we discuss about logging concept in Laravel. We have main topics like introduction, configuration, building log stacks, writing log messages, monolog channel customization, tailing log messages using PAIL, PAIL, PAIL. Apart from these, we have subtopics like available channel drivers, channel prerequisites, logging deprecation warnings, contextual information, writing to specific channels, customizing monolog for channels, creating monolog handler channels, creating custom channels via factories, tailing log messages using PAIL, installation, usage, filtering logs. So these are the main topics and subtopics that are available in logging concept in Laravel. Let's see one by one. The introduction. To help, so what is happening within our application, Laravel provides robust logging services that allow us to log messages to files, the system error log, and even to Slack to notify our entire team. So Laravel logging is based on channels. Each channel presents a specific way of writing log information. For example, the single channel writes log files to a single log file, while the Slack channel sends log messages to Slack. Log messages may be written to multiple channels based on our log severity. So Laravel utilizes the monolog library, which provides support for a variety of powerful log handlers. Laravel makes it a clinch to configure these handlers, allowing us to mix and match them to customize our application's log handling. So configuration. All of the configuration options that control our application's logging behavior are housed in the config/logging.php configuration file. So this file allows us to configure our application's log channels. So be sure to review each of the available channels and their options. So by default, Laravel will use stack channel when logging messages. The stack channel is used to aggregate multiple log channels into a single channel. Available channel drivers. Each log channel is powered by driver. The driver determines how and where the log message is actually recorded. So the following log channel drivers are available in every Laravel application. An entry for most of these drivers is already present in our application's config/logging.php configuration file. So let's see what are the available channel drivers. Custom, daily, error log, monolog, paper trail, single, Slack, stack, syslog. These are the available channel drivers in Laravel. And a custom channel, the description, we can describe it as a driver that calls a specified factory to create a channel. Daily, a rotating handler based on monolog driver which rotates daily. Error log, an error log handler based monolog driver. Monolog, a monolog factory driver that may use any supported monolog handler. Paper trail, a syslog UDP handler based monolog driver. Single, a single file or path based logger channel. Stream handler. Slack, a Slack webhook handler based monologue driver. Stack, a wrapper to facilitate creating a multi-channel channels. Syslog, a syslog handler based monologue driver. Now we see configuring the channel name. By default, monologue is instantiated with a channel name that matches the current environment such as production or local. To change this value, we may add a name option to our channel's configuration. So it will be like this: stack, driver, stack, name, channels, single, comma, Slack. So like this we will be providing name option to our channels configuration in order to configure the channel name. Driver, name, channels. Like this we will be configuring. And we see now what are the channel prerequisites. So configuring the single and daily channels. The single and daily channels have three optional configuration options called bubble, permission and locking. Bubble indicates if messages should bubble up to other channels after being handled. Default value is true. Locking. Locking attempt to lock the log file before writing to it. Default value is false. Permission. The log file's permissions. 0644 is the default value. So additionally, the retention policy for the daily channel can be configured via the log_daily_days environment variable or by setting the days configuration option. Days, the number of days that the daily log files should be retained. Default value is 7. So configuring the Slack channel. The Slack channel requires a URL configuration option. This value may be defined via the log_slack_webhook_URL environment variable. This URL should match a URL for an incoming webhook that we have configured for our Slack team. So by default, Slack will only receive logs at the critical level and above. So however, we can adjust this using the log_level environment variable or by modifying the level configuration option within our Slack log channels configuration array. Now we see logging deprecation warnings. So PHP, Laravel and other libraries often notify their issues and some other features have been deprecated and will be removed in future versions. So if you would like to log these deprecation warnings, we may specify our preferred deprecations log channel using the log_deprecations_channel environment variable or within our applications config/logging.php configuration file. So the deprecations, the name value paid it will be like this in array format. Deprecations within that channel env of log_deprecations_channel null trace env of log_deprecations_trace false. So like this logging deprecation warnings, we can log the deprecation warnings. Or we may define a log channel name deprecations. If a log channel with this name exists, it will always be used to log deprecations. Channels, deprecations, driver, single, path, storage path of logs / path-deprecation-warnings.log. Building log stacks. So as mentioned previously, Stripe driver allows us to combine multiple channels into a single log channel for convenience. So to illustrate how to use log stacks, let's take a look at an example configuration. Channels, within that stack, syslag, slack. Now we see log levels. Log level configuration present on the syslog and slack channel configurations. So this option determines the minimum level a message must be in order to log it by the channel. So as we have seen in the previous examples, so level configuration option present on the syslog and slack channel configurations. So monolog, which powers Laravel logging services, offers all of the log levels defined in the RFC 5424 specification in descending order of severity. So the log levels are emergency, alert, critical, error, warning, notice, info and debug. So these are the log levels. So we will be calling these log level methods by making use of log facet, like log debug of an informational message. And in the same way we will call log emergency of the system is down. So like this we will be calling the log level methods. And we are having next topic like writing log messages. So we will be having different methods by making use of log facet. So we will be using all these methods like log emergency of $message, log alert of $message, log critical of $message, log error of $message, log warning of $message, log notice of $message, log info of $message, log debug of $message. So like this we will be writing the log messages by making use of different methods like emergency method, alert method, critical method, error method, warning method, notice method, info method, debug method. So these are the in this way we will write log messages. Now we see contextual information. An array of contextual data may be passed to log methods. This contextual data will be formatted and displayed with the log message. We may wish to specify some contextual information that should be included with all subsequent log entries in a particular channel. So for this we will be using the log facets with context method. If you would like to share contextual information across all logging channels, so we may invoke log share context method. Share context method. Now we see writing to specific channels. So we will be using channel method. For example, log channel of Slack, info of something happened. So like this we will be using channel method in order to write to specific channels. On-demand channels. It is also possible to create an on-demand channel by providing the configuration at runtime without that configuration being present in our application's login configuration file. So to accomplish this, we may pass a configuration array to the log facets build method. So like this we will be writing to the on-demand channels. Monolog channel customization. So by making use of tap array on the channels configuration, we can customize monolog channels for channels. So we may need control over how monolog is configured for an existing channel. For example, we may want to configure a custom monolog formatter interface implementation for Laravel's built-in single channel. So for this we will be using tap array. So tap array should contain a list of classes that should have an opportunity to customize the monolog instance after it is created. So like this we will be using tap array in order to customize monolog for channels. Once we have configured the tap option on our channel, so we are ready to define the class that will customize our monologue instance. So this class only needs a single method double underscore invoke, which receives an eliminate log logger instance. So the eliminate log logger instance proxies all method calls to the underlying monologue instance. Creating monologue handler channels. So monologue has a variety of available handlers, and Laravel does not include a built-in channel for each one. In some cases, we may wish to create a custom channel that is merely an instance of a specific monologue handler that does not have a corresponding Laravel log driver. So these channels can be easily created using the monologue driver. So when using monologue drivers, the handler configuration option is used to specify which handler will be instantiated. So optionally, any constructor parameter the handler needs may be specified using the with configuration option. So for this we will be using with configuration option. We will be mentioning host and port. Monologue formatters. So when using the monologue driver, the monologue line formatter will be used as a default formatter. Monologue driver. When using monologue driver, monologue line formatter will be used as a default formatter, line formatter. So we may customize the type of formatter passed to the handler using the formatter and formatter underscore with configuration options. So we can customize the type of formatter passed to the handler using formatter and formatter underscore with configuration options. So if we are using a monologue handler that is capable of providing its own formatter, so we may set the value of the formatter configuration option to default. So like this, formatter in the new relic, for example, so driver monologue handler, new relic handler double colon class, formatter default. So now we see monologue processors. Monologue can also process messages before logging them. So we can create our own processors or use the existing processors offered by monologue. So if you would like to customize the processors for a monologue driver, so add a processors configuration value to our channels configuration. So creating custom channels via factories. So if you would like to define an entirely custom channel in which we have full control over monologue's instantiation and configuration, we may specify a custom driver type in our config/login.php configuration file. So our configuration should include a via option that contains the name of the factory class, which will be invoked to create the monologue instance. So via option is used to mention which will contain the name of the factory class, which will be invoked to create the monologue instance in the channels configuration of config/login.php file. Once we have configured the custom driver channel, we are ready to define the class that will create our monologue instance. So this class only needs a single double underscore invoke method which should return the monologue logger instance. So the method will receive the channel's configuration array as its only argument. Now we see tiling log messages using PAIL, not fail, PAIL, PAIL. So we may need to tail our application's logs in real time. So Laravel PAIL is a package that allows us to easily dive into our Laravel application's log files directly from the command line. So unlike the standard tail command, so PAIL is designed to work with any log driver including Sentry or Flare. So PAIL provides a set of useful filters to help us quickly find what we are looking for. So PHP artisan PAIL, so like this we will be using the artisan command. So installation, we used to We can use the artisan command like composer require Laravel by Pale in order to install Pale in our project using the composer package manager. So now we see how do we use this Pale. So PHP artisan Pale. So to start tailing logs, run the Pale command called PHP artisan Pale. So to increase the verbosity of the output and avoid truncation, so we will be using -v option. PHP artisan Pale -v. So for maximum verbosity and to display exception stack traces, so we use -v option, -vv option. So the command will be like this: PHP artisan Pale -vv. So to stop tailing logs, we have to press Ctrl C at any time. So now we see filtering logs. So -filter. We may use -filter option to filter logs by the type, file, message, and stack trace content. So we will use the command like this: PHP artisan Pale -filter equal to query exception. -message. To filter logs by only their message, we may use the -message option. So PHP artisan Pale -message equal to user created. Level -level. So the -level option may be used to filter logs by their log level. PHP artisan Pale -level equal to error. -user. So to only display logs that were written while a given user was authenticated, we may provide the user's ID to the -user option. So PHP artisan Pale -user equal to 1. So like this we will be using -user option to the Pale command. So this is all about logging concept in Laravel. Thank you so much. This is Universal Horse Star Ravindar Reddy Yampalla. Thanks to all of my fans, supporters and followers, and special thanks to all of my YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much.